Hello guys, Alex Feratov here, and today we have an amazing guest, one of our clients in Brand Builders Academy, Paul Freeman, getting great traction right now using TikTok organic, almost $14,000 a day, purely organic. Thank you for joining me, my man.
Yeah, totally, man. Anytime.
Cool, awesome. So, tell me more about yourself. Like, what's your background? How did you get into e-commerce in the first place?
Yeah, my previous career was a software engineer. I've actually done a bunch of stuff before then, even. But my previous career was a software engineer. I had always had the desire to kind of exit out of the exchanging time for money thing. I tried to act on it like a handful of years ago. Like I did the typical thing with drop shipping where I was like, saw some YouTube videos. I was like, cool, I'll try it. Spent like 2 weeks building the perfect store, and then I didn't even run traffic. I just quit, it's just like so stupid looking back, but there's just so many things in this game that can go wrong. So many little things that will just sink the ship. And it's just like, if you don't know, then you don't know, And so, yeah, I tried that. And then I actually tried it again a little later on. And I finally did run ads, but I didn't know how to read anything. I didn't know what the hell a CPM was or anything like that. So that failed, obviously. And then I was working the software engineering job.
How much you were making as a software engineer?
Oh man, it was good. Six figures, low six figures.
Nice. Wow.
With tons of room to grow as well. Absolutely. It could get into
Was it like a full-time role? Did you work from home or did you have to commute?
Yeah, it was a remote work.
Remote? Yeah. Oh wow. So I mean, it's not that bad. For any measure, by any measure, making six figures, pretty much working from home. Was it very long working hours or not really?
Not really, man, bro. It was a dream job, man, and I was ecstatic when I got the job because those software engineering jobs, they're kind of tough, man. Sometimes it's 4 or 5 interview rounds, and very technical interviews. So, bro, it was a dream job, but it was still a job, It's still I'm making someone else money and then they're giving it back to me, so.
Interesting. So what was your motivation at this point? Okay, so you had that good job, you're making good money working from home, so you didn't have to commute. Also, pretty much, I mean, the opportunity to grow was in that role as well. So what was that, why you decided to even, switch from that?
Totally, man. It's the freedom. It's the freedom. It's even though I work way more now than I ever did, in those jobs, building your own thing, there's so much intrinsic motivation to that for me, at least. So it was just a no-brainer to try and shift over to something else. I will say there was I don't want to ding your YouTube channel, but there's a thing going around a couple years ago, and they were talking about, oh, you have to take this other thing or you lose your job and all that. And that was the fire under my ass, man. That was the point where I was bro, my employer is not going to force me to do anything like that. If I don't want to, if I want to, that's fine. But if I don't want to, I'm not doing it. I'm not letting my employer hold the paycheck over my head and dangle it and be oh, you need to jump through this hoop. Now this hoop was just I'm out of here, man. I just quit. I just I was done. Yeah, I didn't tell them exactly that was the reason, but it was just I need to move on. I want to get out of this. And I did tell them that I wanted to, I was getting into e-com and stuff like that, but that was the major sign. It was I need to do something about that because I don't like being in that position, that kind of feeling.
And when was that?
What was that? That was so I officially quit. It was probably 6, 7, 8 months ago now. And yeah, from then I was just full force. I joined a mentorship, it was a mentorship before yours. And just went hard on it. Literally 10 hours a day, product research, setting up stores, running ads, losing money, losing tons of money. but that's the game,
So did you have a lot of money saved up? Did you
Yeah, I had a decent amount. I had a little padding to run on, definitely. I wasn't just broke and just jumping into it. But,
was it something because that's something that I think it's a lot easier to make those decisions to commit to e-commerce or any other business when you have some when you have some savings, when you kind of like have some war chest that at least can support your like living expenses. So did you actually plan for this? Like, did you actually like keep your expenses low in order to like to have that war chest, or was it just kind of like accidental?
Life. Oh yeah. Like while I was working, I live a really frugal life, man. I don't buy stuff like just willy nilly, unless honestly, like the products that I buy are just products that I'm testing. Like I don't really like buy shit, you know. Like I'm like the worst consumer, which has kind of been a challenge, you know, because I had to get over that mentally. Like I had to get that thing out of my head where I was like, well, why would you buy this? You would just like do that. You just go on Amazon and get this other thing, or like use whatever. It's like
wow,
and like get that out of your head, because that's not what we're after here, you know.
And that's such a good point, because sometimes even like on my YouTube videos, people like message me on Instagram. Is like, I was like, why would anyone pay like $50 for the product that they can buy for like $15 on Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the time. We're direct marketers, right? We're not playing the Bezos game, you know.
Yeah,
we're like. We're highly specific marketing and like impulse purchases. It's just a different approach, you know?
Was it like your parents, like who taught you to be frugal and kind of like and cautious about your expenses?
Oh, that's a good question, man. My mom is a heavy shopper. She's the person that I would target on Facebook. You know what I mean? So not so much from her. So when I finished college, I went and taught English in South Korea for a while, and then after that, I bought a van and I just lived in a van and rock climbed for like a couple of years, man. And doing that, like you're living frugally, like literally beans and rice. Like my meal was beans, rice, and eggs every day for every meal for like a very long time.
That's where you had the beard?
Yeah, I definitely was looking way more like scraggly than even now. But yeah, it was a great time. But yeah, I definitely learned to live poor, man. Living in a van, like you can't buy shit because you've only got like this big to live in. So it's like I can't buy anything anyway. So, but yeah, I've always kind of naturally been like that.
How those like first like few months, like full commitment, how that worked out for you?
It was great, like in terms of learning, man. It was just like learning a ton, you know. In a mentorship, like I highly recommend, whoever it is, like as long as they're legit, like it just speeds up the process, and you're just not going to make those big freaking like costly mistakes, you know. So yeah, early on, it was a lot of testing and like kind of setting up systems, especially with Facebook, you know, or like ad accounts and stuff like that. But no real success. I mean, like I had one product. I made that mistake of like having like a close to break even product and just like running it for way too long and it just not being profitable. I should have killed it like, months before. But that was probably like the one, like it was, I can't even say it was a success. It was just like something that actually started making sales somewhat and broke even like here and there. Yeah, so early on, it was tough, man. It's just a lot of information and all that. So and like I don't have a sales background, and I've kind of, man, honestly, like I've always had this kind of mental block. Not anymore, but like, or at least I'm working through it.
You've gotten so much better. I observe your evolution, like as I mean, you're like, you understand how to sell. I see I see your ads and like the stuff that you create on TikTok. It's like fascinating. You know how to coach it now.
You planted that seed. You planted that seed, man, 100%. And like my own research and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, dude, you planted that seed in my brain.
Can you give me an example of some of the products you tried to sell, how much you tried to sell them for, and how much did it cost?
Oh man, there's a long list. The one that was like kind of break even, it was unprofitable. I want to believe that it was break even, but it was unprofitable for the most part. That was the polygel nails. They were popping off like maybe like a year ago.
They were there like I can tell in 2019, 20. I mean, that's the product has been like for a long time.
They've been around, and it's really interesting that like there's cycles to all these products. Yeah. I didn't realize that. It took me a while to like understand that. But man, all sorts of stuff, dude. The majority of it was low ticket and free plus shipping. That approach, which like it can. I'll just say, like, I saw multiple people make it work very, very well. That's right. So I can't sit here and say that it doesn't work, because it definitely does. And I personally spoke with over 5 people that made it work very, very well. But for me, I think like part of it is like, I didn't like it's all mental, man. Like I didn't like selling a product in that way. Like I don't mind aggressive sales. I actually really like aggressive sales, but I don't like. I feel like the free plus shipping model is a little bit misleading. And like, you're riding the sales that are coming in. You're riding on the value prop. Like it's just a really strong value proposition. So like that can like hold the weight of your marketing, you know? And so I feel like it kind of kept me like at marketing, you know, because I was relying on this like, hey, it's free, you just got to pay shipping, you know? But yeah, it was a lot of low ticket stuff. And like you said, man, it's just CPMs are just getting higher and higher. It seems like, right? Like I literally like the test, my last test here when I was in BBA, before I tried this organic thing, I had a $70 CPM, dude.
70.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if maybe the ad account was like something was wrong or something like that, but like that's just not going to fly, you know? Like I can't do anything with $70 to 1,000 people, you know? Like that's just not going to work out. And this was like a compliant product. I wasn't using the word "you" anywhere on my site, on my ad, like no skin in the ad. Like I don't know what happened. It might have just been the ad account. I don't know, but I mean, regardless, like even then, like other ad accounts, like it was still just a CPM. If you're advertising to the US, it's just absurd, you know? Yeah. So you gotta have the margins. And that was really what drew me to you, man. Like of many things, you know, in some of your other videos, you're like, man, you gotta go for the high margin thing. And and you can mark it up. Like if you're good at marketing, you can market the hell up if you need to, you know? Like, if you sell it well, dude, like you absolutely can bang on like very big margins. So that really spoke to me because, like, obviously, like that other approach just wasn't working, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Wow. It's and it's fascinating that people go through these cycles and they see products, you know, with spy tools or like ad library, and they think it's like it's a winner just because it sells. Just because it sells, it doesn't mean that it is scalable. Just because it sells doesn't mean that you can be profitable. Right? Just because it sells like that, you know, as you grow the business and you start, let's say, having like some VAs, you have some more softwares, you have some more apps, whether you'll be profitable as your cost structure increases, because it inevitably does with scaling. You know, I try to sell products that are like not less than like, you know, not cheaper than like $50 ideally, or like even $75, or something that is consumable. So even if the product is cheaper, but something that people would buy like again, right? So it's either one-time transaction of, you know, let's say $70, $100 where you have the enough margin to get a sale, or it's something that's like, let's say, even if it's like $25, $30, but then people will need it again in a month because it's a consumable product. With TikTok, right? With something, you know, I'm very fascinated. You showed me the results. Like, so how was that like learning process for you, like with TikTok, like compared to Facebook? So for people watching, you know, guys, I'll just give you like a little bit background. So Paul is using TikTok Organic. TikTok Organic is when you're literally posting TikToks on your phone. You don't have to spend money on ads. So for people starting off, or even for people that don't have like a lot of like budget to work with, I think that's probably like the best kind of like channel to get into, because besides just the benefit that you can drive sales, you can also learn a lot how the content structure works, how to create ads that get people to watch and engage. So then when you get on Facebook, it will be totally different, like understanding of the creative. You will know how to grab the attention, how to keep the attention, because TikTok right now is probably has the best algorithm for anything, you know, so on the social. So tell me more about that, like kind of like how you got into it, like in the first place, and also how that learning process went for you.
Yeah, man. So while I was doing Facebook ads, here and there, I would do TikTok Organic on the side. And it was like the kind of thing where I would try for 2 weeks and then I would quit. And then I would try for 2 weeks and then I would quit.
Well, why you would quit though?
Bro, because here's the thing with TikTok Organic. You gotta shut the brain off in some sense, because like it takes a lot of, I mean, it can take a lot of time. to make your posts, right? And ideally you're doing high quality posts, so you're not just like banging it out and hoping it goes viral. So it takes a lot of time, and like it's hard to spend 3 hours shooting a TikTok, posting it, and then you get 200 views. Like that's a hard pill to swallow. And then you got to keep in mind, you got to do that every day, ideally multiple times a day. So it's like the mental battle is like right in your face, So, but the flip side of that is you get the feedback. You have an immediate feedback loop on whether what you're doing is working or not. And frankly, like those first couple of tries at it, like I didn't have that seed planted. I didn't have that knowledge of like, I need to up my marketing game. It's not even necessarily the product so much as like, I need to figure out how to sell things, and how to, like you said, like how to engage people and like, how do you get them to watch the first 3 seconds? Just figure that out, just figure out how to get them to watch the first 3 seconds and then figure out the other parts later,
So how many, like, would you say, like, maybe like total like TikToks that you had to create that like flopped before you had any kind of like promising?
So I would say I think maybe 3 or 4 products where I was like, all right, I'm just going to post for 2 weeks, at least one a day. So I would say probably like, I don't know, this is a very rough estimate, but probably like 50 to 100. That's not to say you couldn't do it way quicker either. Like, you absolutely can do it way quicker. I just like, I'll say this too, like as long as your feedback, as long as you're analyzing what's going out and what's coming back to you, and you're like figuring out like, oh, this post was shit, I need to do something different. Because I probably posted, tons of posts that I thought were good and they were just the same as the other posts that I posted last week, so you still got to kind of like keep that feedback. But yeah, maybe 50 to 100.
Let's say 50 to 100, because most people, they would do like 3 and they would give up, right?
I've done that many times. I've done that many, many times.
That's fascinating. What kept you going though?
Man, I knew there was something to it, because it's just like no ad spend. Like what? Like you make a post, you make a funny post, and then sales like fly in. Like that's absurd. That's just like an absurd proposition, but like, it works. Like I've seen so many people have major success doing that. So yeah, it was basically the lack of ad spend that was like the huge appeal.
And it's fascinating because, like TikTok organic, and I personally know like some people that have built the whole business like purely on TikTok organic, right? Because the first level to this, right, is creating your own content. Like let's say you have like a product, you kind of like do the demonstration. I mean, obviously not boring product like a mouse, but you do kind of like your own videos, you chop it up, like you put some music on so it makes it more exciting. But then over time, as you're getting, let's say, initial momentum with it, you can also involve some other creators to do it. Right? You don't have to do it from day one, because, you'd have to pay them like percentage of the sales that they generate. But once you have the product market fit and you have some momentum, you have some money as well, you can pay other creators to pretty much create TikToks with your product. And that by itself can drive like a lot of, whether you guys watching, maybe you already have some momentum with your business, or maybe you don't have any, right? So either way, like if you have already momentum, it can be tremendous, like top of the funnel, channel to drive awareness about your product. So because let's say TikTok creators like create content about your product, people might not buy like from the first touch, right? But they would go like in Google, okay, what is this product? And then they click on your Google ad, they go on your website, they get on your email list, and then 2 days after they buy. Right, so the cycle and the platforms are so interconnected these days that the awareness of one platform can cause the purchase on another channel. So that's for those of you guys who are more experienced. But for those that are new, what Paul did, and you sent me the screenshot like few days ago, right? Like you were like at $40,000 plus in sales this month.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. In like under 30 days.
Wow. What was your profit margin there?
Somewhere between 40 and 50.
So you made like 20 G's in profit?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy, dude. Dude, I just made a funny video. I just made like a fun video.
To what extent do you feel like at this point, knowing what you know now, you can control the outcome of TikTok, or it's still like a big lottery?
Oh man, not a lottery at all. Definitely not a lottery. There's definitely art to it, but man, if you're just like a really like rational, logical kind of person, you can still make it work. Like you can set up systems and like have kind of like frameworks for your TikToks that absolutely will
can you tell me some of those, like some of the major like 80-20 like learnings or things that people have to watch out for?
Yeah, so definitely the hook, the first 3 seconds, like you got to get them to watch.
How do you get them? How do you get the hooks? Like how do you figure those out?
Bro, all sorts. I've kind of thought of like a couple different things. Like you can have a visual hook, like maybe something weird. A lot of like you've probably seen like you'll see like close-ups of like lotion being poured on a banana or something like that. Like those kinds of things.
And you're like, what the fuck is this? And you click out of curiosity.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely the hook. Controversy is great, but you got to be careful with that because you don't want to just say something controversial just to say it and go viral on that because that's not going to convert. So there's a little bit of like finagling there. Like ideally, it's like centered around the product in some way. Like as an example, like with my current product, I'm like intentionally calling one part of it the completely wrong thing. Which just like I'm just baiting comments, I'm baiting discussions in the chat, But it's not like I'm not presenting myself as an idiot that's trying to sell this thing, It's just like a very in passing thing that can work really well.
Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, it's like say you were selling this mouse, one of these mice. You could be like, okay, it's like blah, 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 and it's got these wheels on the bottom that blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have any wheels, but you can comment bait that way, That's kind of an obvious one, but you can do it with all sorts of stuff. You can do it with your scene, you're seeing all the stuff in your background. You're creating a sales environment. You're creating that environment that you want your customer to kind of like be in, right? So you can throw something a little weird or a little off in the background. I like to I have fun with it, man. I say weird shit sometimes, like I just like it'll be like a totally serious sales, like ad essentially post, but like I'll just say one weird thing like off the start, something incorrect, or just like I'll say it weird, or really subtle things, man. I love it, dude, because it's such a like psychological, kind of like you get into the mind of yourself and others, it's really interesting. I'm almost 40 years old, so. Look, scroll on your For You page. You'll see all sorts of shit going viral. It'll be the crappiest phone quality. It'll be like whatever. Like, I mean, granted, like it kind of helps with if you're selling a product to have nice phone quality, but there's no excuse. The only prerequisite is just to fucking like be disciplined and post and learn. If you just do that and don't quit, you'll figure it out eventually. Mm-hmm. Like the first, you're gonna suck at first, though, more than likely. At least I was awful. Like. Terrible. I got some other people to like look at some of my earlier TikToks, and like literally like one of the guys' reactions was just like it was like I don't even know where to start. Everything is so wrong, like I don't even know where to start. That was kind of his reaction. He was much nicer about it, but like it was that kind of thing. So like I started like it was not looking good, like I was not like a promising, TikTok creator or anything like that. That was definitely not the case.
Man, this is fascinating. So in terms of the like conversion structure, so like do you build some special like landing pages, websites for TikTok, or it doesn't really matter from your experience, just like regular product pages?
That's interesting because like, okay, so when I posted my initial post for this product, I had no intention of selling it. I literally like I had a chat with you, and like I was studying affiliate marketing and just studying marketing in general, copywriting and all that. And I was like, I was thinking like, okay, I want to like iterate on this, and I want to get better at this. So it's like Facebook is out of the question because it costs way too much.
Yeah.
I started to think of Pinterest because Pinterest is actually like really nice, and I know you know that, but yeah, Pinterest is really nice. It's quite cheap, and you can get like some solid conversions on it. So I was kind of thinking of that, but then I was like, wait a second, I have TikTok. I can just post on there and get immediate feedback. So I was just like, okay, I'm just going to employ all these principles into a post. And then I posted it on TikTok, and it started to like gain traction. Like it was like 10K views like really quickly. Like that's something that I had never seen before. And then eventually I started to get to the point where I would like refresh it and it would like jump, another like 1K or 5K. So then I was like, okay, like I need to like hurry up and make a store and all this stuff. So I didn't even have a store at that point, like totally not intending to sell it. I just wanted to practice like marketing, which is probably like part of why it was successful, because I didn't have a lot of expectations going in. I was literally just like, this is my marketing sandbox where I'm going to learn. And that was the end, But you were asking about like the website and the funnel and stuff like that. Like I saw that post kind of starting to get traction. And so I like stayed up all night and I just banged out a store really quick. Terrible working. It was like the worst. It was like a 2016 drop shipping store, but worse. It was awful. But dude, it converted. It converted like hell, and now I have a better website and all that. I've spruced it up a little bit, but yeah, I mean, the website is important, but man, if you sell them on the front end, they'll buy, dude. If it's a good product and you sell it well, like they will buy, on the stupidest, like crappiest looking, scammy looking website, they'll still buy. So yeah, nothing special in terms of the funnel, but there is like the concept of a funnel on TikTok as well, for sure.
So how is like the okay? So on that side is like TikTok has this like requirement. I think like 1,000 followers or so you need to have like in order to have your link. Is it 1,000 or 10,000?
Yeah, 1,000.
1,000, yeah. So how did you get your first like 1,000 followers?
That I think it happened off that one post. Like it is kind of like it's disheartening not being able to have a link in the bio and all that stuff, but like. Man, if something gets traction, you'll probably get followers. I mean, sometimes if you got the wrong kind of virality going or something like that, people won't necessarily be inclined to follow you. But I don't know how many followers I have right now, but it jumped. It was just immediately like 1K was just like blown past. Like with a couple refreshes of the screen. So, but yeah, there is a little bit of that limitation. You can like early on, you can point people to like your Instagram or your YouTube. Because you should always be repurposing your content and just tossing it on Facebook Reels and Instagram and YouTube Shorts and all that.
Yeah, there's like the Katana, right? Like mini Katana. They're crushing it like on YouTube Shorts, right? TikTok organic, YouTube Shorts, like they're absolutely destroying it. Like 8-figure business, purely like organic channels.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Yeah, that's really cool.
Wow. Nice. So, for people, like, do you have to like have like a very strong offer for the products, like, in your TikToks? Do you have to hard sell like, hey, buy today 49% off, or like buy this, like it's only available for the next 24 hours? Like, so how is like the, from that standpoint, like how aggressive you need to be in order to get conversions?
Yeah. You can. You have to kind of ride a fine line of like overselling it and not selling it enough, especially on like organic posts, because like people don't want to be sold to necessarily, right? So yeah, it's I would say like if I was going to do some kind of like scarcity element, I would maybe plan it out like try and get a viral post going. Inevitably, if it's about the product and it's getting traction, somebody will be like, where can I buy it? And then you can make a reply video to that. That will be pinned to the top of the comments. And then you can kind of like do a little bit harder of a sale and be like, yeah, it's 50% off right now. And we've only got 12 left in stock or something like that. Then you can start going hard on that for sure. But you can get away with it and just like you're just an initial post as well if you do it right, But it's gotta feel native and it's gotta feel natural in some way, Yeah.
Awesome. So, what would you recommend for people, like maybe someone like you, let's say 1 year ago, right before you made the shift? Like, what would you recommend to those people that also maybe don't feel like satisfied, that they're 9 to 5, want to start a business? Like, what would you tell them?
I would say up your copywriting skills and your marketing skills first and foremost. Be as good as you possibly can be at that. I think that seems to be like the most important part. And that ties into content creation. I feel like they're the same thing. Copywriting and like making a post on TikTok, it's kind of the same thing in my mind. So yeah, definitely up that skill. Like the whole like setting up ads and Facebook and stuff like that, it's not that hard. Like you do it a couple times and like you can just like fly through it after a while. It's not crazy difficult. I would say, and no, I'm not being paid to say this, but like join a mentorship. If it's not Alex's, join a mentorship. Yeah. Find somebody that has walked the path before you. It's going to save you so much freaking time and money. Like I assure you it will. Unless you're like one of those random lucky people that just like their first product pops off and they like, just like win right off the start. Those people, by the way, but I had an interesting like encounter. Somebody reached out to me on my TikTok and was like, "Hey man, I know you're drop shipping and stuff like that. I'm trying to get my stuff going." And he was nice about it. He approached me correctly. So I was just like, cool, like I'll help you out. I don't give a shit. Like I'll try and just brain dump on you and hopefully see you have success. But this kid had spent like $800 in ads and didn't make a single sale. It was like, man, I could have saved you, dude. I could have saved you at least like $800 on that, It's like, that's the kind of thing that happens though.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the thing, like, you're talking about the gym, like at least if you go to the gym after 2 weeks, you'll see a little bit of a difference. You'll probably see something, right? But I feel like with the hard part with like entrepreneurship and drop shipping and business in general is like, you can put so much effort into it, but you won't see shit, like you'll be learning stuff and that's great. But like, on paper, you have nothing to show for it, and that's the real like hard thing to deal with. I feel like with drop shipping and entrepreneurship in general, and that's the kind of thing. That's a big part of like why I think like a mentor is so helpful because they know, like I've had mentors tell me just keep posting, just shut the fuck up and keep posting and keep learning, like just keep going. That was basically the thing. Like I know it doesn't seem like it's going to work or anything like that, but it will,
For sure. Where do you see the next steps? Like, do you want to like build on this like organic, just have like more stores, or do you want to just build on the existing store? Like, where do you see the biggest, kind of like the most efficient way to scale it?
Yeah, I'll keep posting on this current product. It's definitely like a viral product. It's not like a big problem solver, so the market isn't massive for it. But I mean, it's still bringing in money. So I'll continue to post. I'd like to like find another creator and maybe like have them post for me. I would love to build out a team like that, but I think like in the short term, kind of my main goal is like I want to blow up 5 products on TikTok. I think after I've done 5 products and I've gone viral and like converted with 5 different products, I think at that point I'll definitely have a good amount of money, and then I can like, maybe explore paid ads a little bit. Even though actually I did start some Facebook ads for this product yesterday. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, also I think in the short term as well, I'll probably play around a little bit with paid acquisition since I have. Now you have like more solid understanding of it, right? Like now it's like, okay, now just reading the data as much as like, TikTok gives you the data. Now you're making decisions based on that. So I'm 100% sure that you will figure out the paid side. And so now you'll have like 2 avenues. So you have the organic, you'll have the paid, and that's, that's like, pathway to 100K a month. Like, yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's a nice prospect for sure. Yeah.
And more consistency, right? So one of the things with like TikTok organic is that, it goes in spikes, right? So if you see those spikes, like, and it's, it can be like very, very like lucrative on some days, and then it's like kind of like drops. It's just part of the game of that organic. But again, the benefit of that you didn't pay for the ad spend to get those. But then with paid ads, once you start adding it, you can achieve more consistency because you're spending money on ads, you're getting sales in return, and it's just the cycle that is more consistent. So, but both of those, it's a phenomenal kind of a combination.
Yeah, and what's nice is like if you get it going on TikTok, like you've got your creatives right there. You already know like what's working. It doesn't necessarily mean it will be amazing on Facebook, like right off the bat, but you at least have something to go off of, Yeah.
Awesome. So, my man, like, I mean, it's been like so many great insights, I think, for people watching. I personally got like, a few nuggets from this as well. And how do people connect with you if people want to just, connect with you, like, get some feedback or something like that?
Man, honestly, I don't really with social media like on it, bro. Like I don't really like I dislike social media for the most part.
That's a producer. Like you producer, not a consumer.
Yeah, I'm not the consumer. Yeah, I'm on the other side. Anyone that's in BBA, reach out to me. Like, ask me whatever. Like, I'm totally fine. I love helping people. So if you're in BBA, holler at me.
What was your experience like with BBA, like, by the way? So kind of like the whole process, like how it was different from other programs like you've been to, like how it's how would you describe it, or if anyone asks you?
Yeah, I really like the community aspect of it, which was missing in a different mentorship that I was in. That's massive. The quality of instruction is really good. All the guys that do the calls are absurdly good at what they do. I particularly like how you kick the actual like course material off on mindset shit. It's like a ton of mindset stuff, which is like massive, man. It's everything, dude. It's not just massive. It's literally everything. Your mindset is going to create the reality. You have to get that right because nothing else is going to work if you don't have like your thought processes, correct. And not just like do this then this. It's like, who are you and what are you doing and why? And like, those deeper questions, like you've got to answer that. And I really appreciated that was how your course started off. And it wasn't just like one video. It was like a full on, like, like get your mind right. Like there's a lot to this, No.
Yeah, my man. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to see your next breakthroughs. My personal, I want everyone to get like 100K per month. That's like the next benchmark. So I'd get you to 100K per month, consistent. Go. And you already have like, I mean, seeing the learning process and the transformation you've been through, like it's just a matter of time. And I'm super excited to see your evolution. And looking forward to just get it to the next level.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Cool, guys. Yeah, and if you're in BBA, you can connect with Paul in our community, Paul Freeman. And my man, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And see you in the next video.